Good morning, Bucknutters. Welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Friday, May 8th, 2015. I am Dave Biddle, and I'm joined by Duane Long. Duane, Ohio State picked up its 15th commitment in its 2016 recruiting class on Thursday when four-star offensive lineman Michael Jordan from Canton, Michigan, Plymouth High School, committed to the Buckeyes over offers from Michigan and many other programs. That's a great get. I mean, Jordan, a four-star prospect, the number 156 overall player in the country according to the 24/7 Sports Composite, the number 16 offensive tackle, and the third-best player from the state of Michigan. Urban Meyer, Kerry Combs had to be doing backflips yesterday. Not only do they get a four-star offensive lineman, they steal one away from the Wolverines. Don't let Michigan get any of the recruiting momentum build up, and just a good get for Ohio State. Duane, your thoughts?
Well, he is. I mean, this is one of the better linemen, not an overall great class of offensive linemen. I would call it solid. And, so getting better guys really means more in a class that doesn't have a lot of elite guys. And taking them, I always felt like, I always heard about this Michigan thing, and it just never felt that way. His recruitment, he always seemed like, to me, that he was leaning toward Ohio State. So I don't know if I was as surprised as some were. I don't see a left tackle in him. I see a right tackle. I got the gut feeling he's going to move down to guard. But he could be a right tackle for us. Another good get on the offensive line. As I said, I'm just not that overly impressed with this class nationally. But this is one of the better offensive linemen that we had a shot at in this class. So, and as you said, taking him away from Michigan, even though I personally did not think that he was a Michigan lean, that just makes it, get a good football player and take one from them. That's nothing but a win-win.
Absolutely. And Ohio State now has 3 offensive linemen in this 2016 recruiting class. They could be done with offensive linemen, or Alex Kleitman reported they might take a fourth if they can find an elite one, but they're not just going to take a fourth just to find a fourth. They'll be happy with 3 if that's all they get. If they can find an elite player at the position, they'll move to fourth. For those that are wondering, Ohio State is now ranked second in the 24/7 Sports Composite team recruiting rankings. The Jordan commitment vault to the Buckeyes over Miami. Florida State is still holding on to that top ranking, but this Ohio State recruiting class, it's looking tremendous. This
class is really, when you look at, I never thought that I would see the day that I would not be complaining about Ohio State with offensive line depth. And now it's so good that, for the longest time every year I was saying we need to take 5, we never did. Now, with Urban Meyer at the helm, and Warner running the show, we have depth. We're not constantly having to get talent every year. Now we can pick and choose, so we can say, well, we're only going to take 3, and we'll only take 4 if it's somebody you don't say no to. That's such a great position to be in, and it all starts up front. I'll always believe that.
Duane, how does Michael Jordan compare to Tommy Kramer, to Liam Eichenberg, the 2 guys Ohio State lost from the state of Ohio? I know you're saying he'll probably be more of a guard, maybe a right tackle, but are Eichenberg and Kramer considerably better in your book, or is Jordan right with those guys?
No, well, Kramer is, to me, one of the elite offensive linemen in the country this year. I would not say that I would, if you asked me to choose between Eichenberg and Jordan, I'd say let me watch the films first. Probably I'd end up taking Jordan simply because he's a bigger kid, and I'm more sure he's going to be a right tackle than I am. I thought Eichenberg was going to slide down to guard always. And, as I've said this on the boards, I'll say it here, I don't recruit guards. They're the rare Demetrius Knoxes who, just dominate inside like he did last year in camps and combines in addition to on his film. But I would recruit tackles and guys that can play center. That's the only ones I would recruit. So I would say I would lean toward Jordan. Kramer's just another level.
Switching gears, what do you think about this Joakim Noah, Cardale Jones stuff? I find it entertaining. I don't take it serious at all. I don't think anybody should. I think it's funny. Your thoughts, Duane?
Well, to me, I'm looking at Noah, and I always thought he was a clown. all the running up and down the floor doing the chomp thing and all the demonstrative actions, the antics. When he went to the draft, he looked like Bozo the Clown. What he wore, every guy's going there is dressed. I mean, they look sharp. They look like professionals. And he had on basically what amounted to a clown suit. He's just he's a fool, and now he's in an argument with a college kid. Don't be a man. Grow up. Come on, take off the clown suit. Stop acting like a fool and just play basketball. He shouldn't have even been in this mess. Just foolish. But that's not surprise out of Noam. He's always, as long as I've known him, he's been a guy that just I was like, come on, man. He definitely falls into the come on, man category.
Speaking of come on, man, Todd McShay released his way too early 2016 NFL mock draft. At least the headline, they said it's way too early. The good news is, well, I don't know if it's necessarily good news. There'll be a mass exodus from Ohio State next year of early entries, but he has 5 Buckeyes projected in the first round. That's not a surprise. We've been saying, for months, Ohio State's going to take over the 2016 NFL draft. But McShay has Joey Bosa 3rd overall. He has Cardale Jones 7th overall. He has Taylor Decker 11th. Ezekiel Elliott 15th, which is fitting considering Ezekiel's jersey number. And he has Darren Lee 30th. So 4 Buckeyes in the top 15 and 5 overall in the first round. Here's where he loses me, though. He has Christian Hackenberg going number 1 overall and Connor Cook going number 2. I don't understand either one of those. But let's focus on Hackenberg for a moment. I understand he looks the part, right? He looks like he's straight out of central casting for a quarterback. 6'4", strong arm. You're not a skinny kid. He's a big kid. And you think, okay, that's what an NFL quarterback looks like. Until you watch him play football, Duane, the guy, he's not accurate. He gets rattled. If something goes wrong, he's yelling at his teammates and his offensive coordinator, so he doesn't have a good temperament. I mean, this guy, I wouldn't use a top 10 pick on him. I wouldn't use a first-round pick on him, let alone the top overall pick of the draft. So your thoughts on this? Your thoughts on the Buckeyes being so well represented and Christian Hackenberg being projected number 1 overall?
Well, Christian Hackenberg thing just leaves me, I had grown over time to have more respect for McShay, but this right here is just insane. Did he watch the last season at all? The guy was just erratic. As a freshman, he did look the role. He did look the part. But as a sophomore, he was throwing interceptions. He was forcing balls. He just looked terrible. And you can say, well, the Penn State wasn't a great football team, but he still needs to perform, and he wasn't. I did not see the same player I saw as a freshman, so I don't know what McShay's doing with that. Connor Cook better than Cardale Jones? Are you kidding me? There's absolutely no way that you should. Connor Cook, he actually performed better than Hackenberg last year, but he just doesn't have the tools that either Cardale Jones or Hackenberg have. I think number 2 overall is just absolutely, it's more ridiculous than Hackenberg 1 for me because he just does not have the tools that those guys have. So I still believe that Cardale Jones absolutely will be the best quarterback in the draft. And if those are the guys he's competing against, then there's no question who's going to be the first quarterback off the board. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, as far as the Buckeyes are concerned, the one that is missing from that, Adolphus Washington, is probably going to be a first-round pick. That's the only thing that I would disagree with. I absolutely agree with him about the rest of them. I do believe that Darren Lee is going to be a guy that we're going to lose before we want to. The other guys we're expecting it. We're expecting Bosa to go. We're expecting Ezekiel Elliott to go. We expect Cardale Jones to go. We don't expect Darren Lee, but he's playing so well. You look at this guy. I've been a big fan of his since high school. Mark Porter and I talked about him. It wasn't where he was going to go. It was what is he going to play? Because he was an elite receiver in high school. He was a great safety, and now, Dave, he hasn't been playing linebacker that long. What happens? The upside on this guy is so tremendous. Who knows where he's going to land? I think 30 might be underrating him. I think that once the season's over, we'll see him move up the draft. Could be as in the running for best outside linebacker in the draft, 4-3 linebacker in the draft. One thing that adds to it is his safety play. He's been playing safety all through high school, came here as a safety, and now he's moving down to linebacker. So he's got a lot of experience in coverage, and that's a big deal in the NFL. 3-down linebackers. Everybody wants 3-down linebackers, and Darren Lee's a 3-down linebacker. So I think he's the one that is being underrated. The rest of them, he's got them where they belong, except I believe that Cardell Jones will be the best quarterback in the draft.
Great insights, as usual, out of Duane Long. Real quick, I want to let the listeners know, Terrell Pryor is getting a tryout with the Cincinnati Bengals this weekend. I'm a Bengals fan, and he's got a shot to make the roster. They have a guy named Josh Johnson, who right now is the number 3 quarterback. If they keep 3, I could see Terrell perhaps beating out Josh Johnson. If they only keep 2, they're probably just going to keep Andy Dalton and A.J. McCarron. But maybe Terrell can latch on with the Bengals as a third-string quarterback. Maybe can play some other positions. You got to think this is maybe his last shot. He's been cut now by 3 NFL teams. This will be his 4th shot. So we'll see. But Terrell Pryor is getting a tryout with the Cincinnati Bengals this weekend. And one more final thing on the recruiting front. Bill Kurlick, the dean of Ohio State football recruiting, has posted his recruiting buzz on the site already for subscribers. It includes notes on wide receiver Donnie Corley and linebacker Aaron Hansford. You won't want to miss that. Make sure you check out Bill's recruiting buzz on the site right now if you're a subscriber. Thanks again to Duane Long, and thanks to all the listeners out there. I hope you guys have a great day and a great weekend.